Have you ever seen a woman like me look you straight in the face after you finished some long explanation of something and then just said, poop?
I think we found Senator Warren's campaign slogan for 2020. Yes, we poop. Thank you, America. All right. When it comes to defining Donald Trump, it seems the media only has two choices.
Stupid or nefarious? Stupid or nefarious? Stupid or nefarious? Stupid or nefarious? I would like to take door number 3, please, if those are my options. Stupid or nefarious? Stupid or nefarious? I don't know if this is stupid or nefarious.
So are you talking about Trump or your show? I kid, Rachel. I would never say that because it's mean and it's something that only liberals do. I call it leftist tunnel vision. It prevents you from seeing people as people. Instead, they're just dastardly forces, leaving you lost at sea, the Kara Sea.
This is the Kara Sea, K-A-R-A, Kara Sea, the Kara Sea. Kara Sea, they drilled a well up in the Kara Sea. Kara Sea, victory in the Kara Sea, the Kara Sea, Kara Sea, the Kara Sea, Kara Sea. Nobody has drilled in the Kara Sea since then.
I'm beginning to think she repeats herself. But at least her side, the Democrats, had one victory. Some guy in Georgia almost won something.
The district is overwhelmingly slotted to be Republican. So Democrats really had an emotional victory last night.
It's emotional. They're talking about Jon Ossoff, the Democrat running for the seat vacated by Tom Price, who moved to Donald Trump's cabinet. Ossoff, get this, he got enough votes in a primary to make it to the real election. Wow. That's what they're really happy about. How sad. But I don't blame them. See, to Democrats, this election primary, it's like a tub of Ben & Jerry's. It's what you devour after you've been dumped. By America. Even celebrities felt compelled to give this no-name cash to win a seat in a district they couldn't even find on a map. Jon Ossoff is their therapy dog, and boy, do the press love to pet him.
Am I the only one who said he sounded like Barack Obama? No? Did that sound like Barack Obama?
Yes, he did. He did. Listen, he's 30 years old. I guess, you know, he figured it worked for him. Yes, we can, Jon Ossoff. Yes, we can.
Yes! He's just like Obama! Well, he kind of does sound like him.
Thank you all for everything that you have done and that you are continuing to do. There is no doubt that this is already a victory for the ages. We are courageous. We are humble. And we know how to fight.
Wow. I think I felt a tingle. I might have wet myself. See, he is like Obama. I'd say he's a little full of himself, except he's a lot full of himself. In reality, Ossoff is a 30-year-old filmmaker, what people in Los Angeles call a waiter. Now the left are giddy because they get a runoff for a seat in Georgia while Donald Trump eats KFC in the Oval Office at his desk. I'll take that trade, especially as Trump nears his 100-day mark. What a ride it's been. Trump essentially stuffed 400 days of work into 100. It was packed tighter than a newscaster's face. So shout out to Botox. A new poll has voters grading his performance, and the results are as predictable as a Springsteen lyric.
And don't you brag to me that you never read a book. I never put my faith in a con man and his crooks.
Wow! God, what happened to Bruce Springsteen? He's like he became a version of Bruce Springsteen. That was his anti-Trump protest song. It's 3 chords set to Chelsea Clinton's Dream Journal. It's official. Bruce is now a Dixie chick. He's as edgy as a Furby. Anyway, back to the poll. Republicans give Trump A's and B's. Democrats, D's and F's. Like I said, predictable. Trump scores highest on fighting terrorism. That's good. Terrorism matters. But what's just as awesome, nearly a third gave Trump an F on climate change. Do you know what an F on climate change is? It's an A on climate change. Because it means he pissed off people who weep silently on Earth Day. To me, that's a win. But really, it's too early to grade Trump. It's like eating a green banana or teaching a baby to drive. It's just too soon, I think. Trump makes deals, not decisions, and deals evolve over time. He's not beholden to the prison of two ideas where everything has to be a yes or a no. He sees options everywhere, and happily, all of his actions create a sense of uncertainty for our enemies. And also, dear Rachel.
Do you sleep too much or too well? Are you too relaxed? Do you have low blood pressure, a lack of anxiety, not a care in the world? If so, there's a cure for that.
Yes, it's called watching your show.
All right.
Nice one, buddy. Nice one. Nice one.
Let us welcome tonight's guests. He's so tough that he sleeps on a bed of nails, and the bed of nails are complaining. He hosts Hollywood Weapons on the Outdoor Channel. Retired Special Forces Master Sergeant Terry Schappert. This cat has 9 lives, and she hates them all. National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. She's the best thing to come from Canada since Anne Murray. And I love Anne Murray. Canadian political commentator and author Lauren Southern. And finally, he considers Mount Everest a speed bump. Actor, former bodyguard, and plus-size model. My massive sidekick, Tyrus.
You had to get that in there. It's true.
All right.
You had to get that in there.
Terry, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
All right, pal. How
Yes.
would you grade the first 100 days, and tell me why you would give such a grade? What are your thoughts overall?
The grades are silly, that idea. Now, from my point of view as a military, that Green Beret thing, which is what I am, I think he's done pretty darn well. Think about this. Jeff Sessions is our Attorney General, right? That's a big thing. Neil Gorsuch is on the Supreme Court.
Yes.
That's big. Our enemies, which heretofore have not been afraid, I dealt with that a lot in the last 8 years right before I retired. They're not afraid of us. They're at least afraid of us now.
Yeah.
And I think, I think that's probably more than I think people would have expected from anybody.
Yeah,
so I'm okay with that.
You are okay?
I'm okay with that.
If Terry's okay with it, Kat, are you okay?
I sleep on a bed of nails.
You do.
Yeah. Look, I'm not a fan of Jeff Sessions as a libertarian. There are complaints that...
One applause for...
Having some applause.
Legit, yeah.
There's some... I'm entitled to my opinion. There are some complaints that I have about Trump, but the thing is now that it's so easy to be an activist.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do, you just have to get in the trenches and do stuff. And all you have to do is tweet, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
And then you're an activist. But that attitude, there are some good things. And you have to... The idea that people don't want him to succeed because they have this petty view of the breakup, they don't like the new boyfriend that America has.
Right.
But they should care about the child of America and want him to succeed because if he succeeds, we all do. So the pettiness, I don't see it stopping, but it really has to.
What do you think, Lauren, overall?
Liberals keep saying that Trump has done nothing, and that is his big thing right now. But I actually think he has done less than nothing.
Really?
And that's a good thing.
Nice.
He's actually, we keep talking about how great it is that you had Obama. He passed so many things, put through so many laws. But Trump has taken down 11 or 12 major federal regulations in his first 100 days, and no one talks about that as if it's a great thing when it is.
Yeah.
If your government sucks, why do you want them doing tons of stuff in your first 100 days?
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you.
I agree. Tyrus, what's your take on the first 100 days?
I'm taking crazy pills apparently because it's incomplete. Yeah. You can't judge anybody on 100. His stuff hasn't come into effect yet.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to judge, and it's still the same thing. If you're Republican, you love them. If you're Democrat, you hate them. And the obstruction is still there. That was there for 8 years. It's still here now. And my more concern is not necessarily what it looks like as far as his job goes, but how it looks to the world. And I feel a lot of the problems that we're having with all these different countries bowing up and showing their ass a little bit is because the dissension is so bad in the United States. Whenever they turn on the news, you have what is supposed to be the news, insulting, burying our president. Everything he does is wrong. The country's in ruins. The other side's fighting. So it looks like America is imploding to the outside world, which is giving certain people, Korea, Russia, suddenly like, hey, we'll fly by the coast. They're too busy fighting. They won't do anything about it. Congress won't pass anything. We can do what we want. We can drop chemical weapons. They're not going to do anything. So I'm more concerned with that. You know, he's our president. He's going to stay our president, and we'll see the results like 2 years from now. But until then, as long as we look like we're fighting amongst ourselves, it's just a bad message to the rest of the world.
I don't mind. Oh, yes, applaud away. I look at Trump and I see a really hardcore instructor at a Soul Cycle class.
Oh, I don't.
You know, he's constant. Everybody in the class are the media, and they can't keep up. So he's like constantly doing different things, and do you
go to Soul Cycle, Greg?
Never.
Okay.
I don't do anything anymore. I just sit and cry.
You totally just busted it.
But no,
and
what he's doing is he creates a sense of uncertainty that puts our adversaries at bay, and kind of we feel uncertainty. But really, when you think about it, not a lot has happened, and that's good. It's like it looks like stuff is happening, but everything's just kind of moving along.
Well, I think to Tyrus's point too, and actually Lauren's as well. I like the idea that the government isn't in my life, and so I think in a couple years we'll really see. Once this kind of settles out a little bit, we'll really see if Donald Trump does the kind of stuff I've always been afraid he was going to do, which was the ego-driven, I want to do it this way.
Yeah.
That's
not that way. Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah, but right now it's okay.
That is my point.
But we got that limit.
I have to say, he has freed us from the prison of two ideas. Every issue, whether it's immigration or foreign policy or trade, it's either this or it's that. And instead, he takes this and that, and he creates an endless array of options. And then so it never, you can always try something else, like the strike.
It's like Old Country Buffet.
Exactly. It is like Old Country Buffet. Incredible creamed corn. I think it's creamed corn.
It is creamed corn.
I hope it's creamed
buffet.
Corn. I don't remember. All right, enough about the creamed corn. Up next, what do North Korean relations and a wigwam have in common? Both are tense. Are things getting grim with Lil Kim? North Korea has stepped up its threat of nuclear war, with the U.S. declaring to wipe out the U.S. and reduce America to ashes. But it's hard for me to get scared when North Korea's message translates into this.
As North Korean media threatened a super mighty preemptive strike.
Super mighty preemptive strike. A super mighty preemptive strike. A super mighty preemptive strike.
A super mighty preemptive strike against the United States. Super mighty, even.
I feel so bad for all those serious news people having to say that ridiculous phrase. I hope Charlie Rose said it.
Super mighty preemptive strike.
Yeah. Attaboy, Charlie. Props to all of them. They said that with a straight face. But super mighty preemptive strike doesn't sound like nuclear war to me. Sounds more like a show geared toward 11-year-old boys.
Super mighty preemptive strike!
So that's the threat we're dealing with. I'm a little scared but mildly amused. That's my problem, Lauren. I have this theory that when your enemy is comical, we don't take it seriously. It isn't funny. I mean, it shouldn't be fun. It shouldn't be funny, but to us it is. So we don't think anything bad's ever going to happen, but it could.
Sure, yeah. I've always thought about it as like bottle rockets, and then I was looking at the news and I realized, oh, they can actually hit the American coast. What?
Yeah.
And the Canadian one.
Yeah.
But there is an easy solution here that no one has really talked about yet.
What?
We are dealing with a 30-year-old mentally unstable man with daddy issues who loves basketball. We send Michael Jordan or Dennis Rodman over, you know, have him chocolate and a talk out, and if everything fails, you just put a grenade in the basketball you leave with him. You're good.
Oh, that's devious.
You're good.
The basketball grenade trick. Tyrus, you don't like that idea.
No, you leave Michael Jordan alone. He's a saint.
He's a saint. Dennis Rodman, on the other hand.
Dennis Rodman, you know what?
Dennis Rodman goes to bars and never pays his bill. Dennis Rodman has done a lot of bad things, but the one thing he does is he goes to bars and then he never pays the bill.
And he cries on command.
That's true. That's true.
And speaking of crying,
There's nothing wrong with crying.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
No, not when it's fake. Speaking of fake, super mighty catfish is exactly what he did to his people. He catfished his people.
How so?
The bombs in the parades, I'm pretty sure if one of us walked up and tapped, we'd heard an echo.
Those look like cardboard.
They looked a little tinny. And, you know, with as much
cardboard.
Jacking and hacking they've done of, like, Hollywood and stuff, you would have thought the flames would have been a little better. Like, you don't got a green screen in Korea? Like, what the hell?
You know what, though? I find their marching to be very seductive.
He's showing the people to show how tough they are. So they won't worry about the food they're not getting.
Exactly.
Like,
that's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a prison camp of 25 million.
They're all like, oh, yeah, it's going to be great. We're blowing, and then they realize they're not. It's not who they said it is. And it's really a short man who knew you in elementary school, but you never said hi to him. So he pretended.
Was that directed at me? You know,
no.
It is true. I do plan on taking over a country just to get back at everybody.
And one day you will.
Terry, okay, you're pretty good on this whole subject. It's always to you about China, correct?
Yeah, a couple things.
Have you changed your mind on that?
No, not really. First of all, yeah, North Korea can't feed its people.
Right.
And it's kind of like if you even look about what the Soviet Union, when it was going through all this, it looked like it had a very impressive military. It really wasn't. Yeah. They couldn't maintain it. They couldn't sustain it. It was actually crap. Same with North Korea. You're right. They couldn't hit us, and more importantly, they could hit one of our allies. Yeah. Which we were supposed to be defending. I do think, I always said, when you see North Korea in a news story, substitute China, and that's it. Now, they can't control them completely. Right. They're a bit like a pit bull that they kind of got most of the thing on, but in general, North Korea doesn't have, they're not going to do anything without China's approval, and if they do something without China's approval, they'll pay for it from China way worse than we'll give it to them.
Kat, you've been studying this issue for many years.
Yes, yes.
And I'd like to, what is your solution for this?
My solution, well, why are we spending so much time trying to get involved in all these other countries is always my solution. Because I'm a little
25 million people are starving.
I'm a little scared. Okay, but we have a lot of problems here, and I think that any good therapist would tell us we need to work on ourselves first.
Yes.
You know, we don't have enough resources to solve all the problems of the world, and you know, they're mad at us, right? Who knows? Super mighty preemptive strike is funny sounding. It's funny, but it wouldn't be funny if they did it.
Well, that's my point. It was like ever since South Park.
No, you're right. It's so comical. People don't take it seriously.
It's like the North Korean leaders have always been a punchline.
Yeah.
But what if that punchline actually has a punch?
I think it's good to make them a punchline, though, because the best way to take people down a notch is to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, until they kill you.
Do you think that
those will be my last words, yes.
Do you think there's any mystery that every time the rocket takes off, there's a guy in a ship going, yeah, and it goes,
yeah, exactly.
I think we got him.
Yeah.
I think we got him.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
We used to do that deceptive stuff even in World War II, where we'd have fake tanks and fake missiles. That whole parade looked like a bunch of cardboard spray painted olive drab.
Yeah. Well, sooner or later, it's going to come to a head. You can take my word on that.
Yes, thanks, Greg. We're going to take your word.
Yes, all right. Shut up, Terry.
No, I'm not.
He gets a new show. He thinks it's important. All right. Up next, is President Trump's Buy American program a good idea? We pretend to discuss this in an adult-like manner. Be very afraid, unless it's American-made. On Tuesday, President Trump went to Wisconsin, a state, to sign an executive order promoting American labor. Trump says the order is aimed to aggressively promote and use American-made goods and to ensure that American labor is hired to do the job. Okay, but only if we start making cool things like this. That is ingenious. The order is on course with his campaign rhetoric of making sure more products are made here in the USA. On the other hand, the order does limit the choices of businesses and consumers, which isn't exactly in line with the free market system of capitalism. I mean, If it's a patriotic act to buy American, does that mean going to Sandals in Cancun makes me a traitor? I hope not, because me and Dobbs just got our tickets. And our Speedos. Anyway, buying American and hiring American sounds pretty awesome. Almost like a great plot for a movie.
When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo?
In a world where there are no Chevrolets in Tokyo.
We're going to fight for American workers.
When American workers need to be fought for.
America has lost our jobs and our factories to unfair foreign trade.
When foreign trade is not fair. One man is ready to work harder for America. Nude man on a unicorn playing harmonica while saving a puppy from a burning building Films presents Donald Trump, Wilbur Ross, and Paul Giamatti as Laser. Executive Action 7, Trade Justice.
All right. Terry, you're a patriotic American. I have a problem being told that buying American is a patriotic duty. If you want to do that, that's your choice. I think it's un-American to demand that I buy something American because America is about free markets. It means the best prices for the best goods, not restricting choices, some kind of symbolic gesture based on a platitude. It kind of pisses me off. Does that make me a un-American person?
You hate America, obviously.
That person gets a treat after the show.
Yeah. Thanks. You paid attention. Yeah. No, I agree with you. We were talking about this earlier. I think that's a... We sort of knew Trump was like this. Trump isn't actually, in many ways, a free market guy. He's all about crushing the opposition. I think. I mean, he was never. We knew that. He could get away with this for a little while. I think, in a way, it hit the other side so much that you could do a little bit of what I could call not cool course correction and do this kind of stuff. But there's going to be a fine line where it becomes that way, where it's like my way or the highway. And you're right.
It's about making deals, though. Maybe he's just doing this in order to make a deal. Like when I said that there's no yes or no, he's in the middle between free trade and protectionism.
No. This is economic regulation with a cute little name. The exact same thing is when the Democrats passed something called the Clean Air Act, and it sounds nice, but it's just this horrible, regulatory, burdensome monstrosity. I don't hate America. I don't hate clean air. I do know that the sweetest air of all is the one that smells like freedom.
Wow. Freedom smells great. Freedom smells great. Lauren, he went after Canada this week over dairy farmers.
Yeah, that was crazy. But first I want to address this, because I don't think any of you guys actually read the executive order. This wasn't an executive order. It was an executive suggestion.
That's true. I know that. I know. No, it's funny. What you're saying is nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
They're going to look into it. I just don't like the idea of even looking into it.
Trying to manipulate people with a cute little name and what really is trying to limit choices.
But still, we know it's a campaign thing. It's still a campaign thing. We get, I mean...
Let's talk about the Canada thing, because that's actually really interesting. Canada wants to do the same thing where Justin Trudeau wants us to only buy Canadian milk, so they've got kind of a lot of protectionism going on around that, and Trump is really mad about it because he's like, no, we want you to buy our milk as well so we make money. And a lot of people in America don't know about the underground American milk trade. When I was younger, we used to always come in the car and we'd buy tons and tons and tons of milk here, and then we'd have to hide it in our jackets and in the trunk and make sure the American border guards wouldn't find it and we wouldn't get taxed on it because it was so much cheaper in America. So the Canadians are trying to stop us from buying American milk.
Wow.
And Trump's mad about that.
Underground milk.
Cows are the root of all evil. They really are. It's the flatulence that's causing climate change. Plus, it's just disgusting to think that you get milk out of that thing.
Yes.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's called an udder.
I don't care. I'm staying away from it.
It's Mother Nature.
There's something
perverse
perverse
that's not
about
Canada's
going
big problem
and
with milk.
that.
That's not Canada's problem with milk. I'm gonna keep it real.
All right.
I spent some time in Canada, and you want us to drink your milk? Stop making it in that goofy bag. You got to cut the top off and put in a pitcher.
Yeah.
It's a bag of milk.
Nobody wants a bag of milk.
It's a bag of milk. It's horrible.
It's just like an udder.
It's horrible. Because
like
literally, you cut it wrong. It's milk. It's a bag of milk. It'll last like 8 minutes. But and
it
go
should
back
be illegal.
It really should. It's like it's You like I hold it up. I know I've done that.
If you have problems with, milk, not digestion, I do. But just the idea and concept of milk is strange.
But the original question that you asked before you phoned it in to talk about udders was buying American.
Yeah.
It doesn't
quickly.
matter. You're going to be buying computers. The robots are going to be building stuff anyways. There's no jobs in factories. It'll all be computers.
Robots have no nationalities.
Nope.
That's beautiful. You can put that on a T-shirt. Still to come. President Trump has vowed to build a wall that's tall. But is his budget too small? We discuss it as if we know what we're talking about.
If you'll be in New York City and would like free tickets to be part of our studio audience, email Greg Tix at foxnews.com.
Never fails. Call it a joy, call it a bummer. The border wall could start by summer. Which raises the eternal question, where's the money to pay for this thing? Where's Waldo? We're going to need it soon if you believe what Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly said this week.
I think by late spring, early summer, we'll have some prototypes, and then we'll be able to move forward into the summer. So we won't be able to do it all in one afternoon. That is, build a wall and physical barrier, see-through wall, depending on the conditions. But we're going to get at it as quick as we can.
Interesting. So mark your calendar. Note to people under 20, a calendar is a series of pages showing the days, weeks, and months of a particular year. Old people have them, and they usually get them from auto parts stores or sometimes banks. Anyway, those comments came as Secretary Kelly made a 2-day border trip with Attorney General Jeff Sessions, seeing a lot of each other, who noted that illegal immigration through Central America into Mexico is at a 15-year low. That's because, my theory again, maybe Donald Trump is the wall. I believe we have tape of the first wall prototype test.
No.
Guess it works. Lauren, they keep talking about a wall down south, but, aren't we missing a real opportunity here?
We are, because I love the wall. The wall is great. America should definitely have a wall. But Trump has scared away all of your illegal immigrants, and now they're coming to Canada. No word of a lie. We have footage of them running across our Canadian border, and the Canadians, they've made my city, Toronto, a sanctuary city now. They're taking them in every day. So I think we need a wall up north as well. To keep out the Canadian milk smugglers, as well as to keep your illegal immigrants in America or back to Mexico.
Milk smugglers sounds like a euphemism. And I'm not even going to try to figure out what it is. All right, Kat.
Yes.
You don't like the wall. Not even the album. Oh, yes. Wow, that joke was so bad they booed it. And I deserve it, as a matter of fact. I'm running on pretty thin gas here. Kat, will this be like Obama's closing Gitmo? Something that he keeps talking about?
Well, it already is, because he said Mexico would pay for it, and people just let that go so quickly. If I bought something off of the television,
yes,
and it said that I got a free tote, and then I got my bill and I paid for the tote, I'd be mad. I'd be like, Mexico was supposed to pay for this tote. And if they said, well, you did say you liked the tote, I wouldn't just say, oh, okay. And a lot of people are okaying about this. It's very, very expensive. We're already so far in debt, and there are planes.
There are planes. Don't know what that means?
You people just can overstay visas. That's a huge segment of the people that are illegal immigrants in this country.
I'm going to make a tremendous point about this that I've made before. Again, we are entering the prison of two ideas, Terry. Wall or no wall. You can have both. And this is where, Trump was kind of ahead of everybody else. A structure with an opening, a beautiful wall with a beautiful gate, breaks you out of the prison of two ideas. He's saying we can have a wall, but the good people must come in. He broke us out of the prison of two ideas.
That was good. I didn't listen to anything you said, but but I did want to say, no, it was actually, I know it was brilliant, but I did want to say, watching that again, I actually thought Sessions and Kelly kind of look like a couple of used car salesmen, like going, come on down, I swear we'll get it, we'll sell it to you as soon as we can get it. It just had that vibe to it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of, I just wanted to say that. Whatever you said, I'm sure was good.
I think whatever I said was good.
Brilliant.
Tyrus, is the end of summer realistic for the to have this wall in place? That's a lot of work.
What was unrealistic was two old guys in hot-ass suits in the desert. I'm sure that's why they were talking that way.
It looked like they were visiting the
a little hot. Everyone else had short-sleeve shirts on, and they were in the thing. Look, listen, one of your guests, one of my favorite people, PJ Rourke, he had a great idea for the wall. Charge admission. You know, Disneyland makes like $100 million a year, and we have the ability if we charge the service fee to come into the United States, we can make like over $463 billion a year.
Yeah.
So instead of it'll be like a turnstile. They buy a 10-day pass, and
that's
they get
hilarious.
They usually, they buy a 10-day pass, and they can work, and then come back and re-up their pass. They can get, or I bought a 30-day pass for me and the fam. We're going to America to work. I mean, it's not. Why not?
And the pass could have. I didn't read. I've tried. I haven't read the book yet, PJ, but. The pass could have it's like e-tickets where I've got the Empire State Building and I got the Space Needle, and they don't even know how far it is apart. Like
you all agree on someone. There's got to be a border control though.
Yeah, of course.
Without a border, you got to.
We all agree. We like borders. Okay. Up next, which is the privileged class, the left or the right-handed? The story no one is talking about for good reason. Must it be a fact of life that the right has might and the left is bereft? I speak of hand dominance, my second favorite kind of dominance. Student from the University of New Orleans, Louisiana, says it's time for society's most bossy groups to check their privilege, including men, heterosexuals, white people, college students, U.S. citizens, and right-handed people, arguing that nearly everything is structured for their benefit. Darius Minor urges readers, quote, don't try to silence a left-handed person who complains about scissors hurting their hand or how uncomfortable school desks are to sit in or the struggle of having dirty hands from writing in pencil. Now, this may seem petty, especially to the rest of the issues listed, but the world is made for right-handed people. Now, that's, they applaud. They're applauding a quote from somebody. Now, that sounds dumb. Maybe it is, or maybe not. Now, I'm going to go to you, Kat. You cover a lot of college campus crud, or C-cubed.
Yes.
Thank you. What's your take?
Well, at first I thought this was kind of stupid, but then I did some research, and this kid actually does have a point. The struggles of a left-handed person, they go far beyond just scissors and arts and crafts. Here's a typical day for a left-handed person based on real statistics. You wake up painfully hungover because you drank 3 times more than your right-handed buddies the night before. If you're lucky enough to make it out the door, good luck opening it because the doorknob is on the wrong side. Then you get in your car but forget about having coffee on the way. The cup holder's on the right-hand side, so you just hold the cup, putting yourself in incredible danger, which explains why you're 5 times more likely to die in an accident.
Wow.
Or maybe you take the subway to work, but now you're late because the card reader's on the wrong side.
True.
And if you're lucky enough to finally get there, guess what? Screw you! You're making 10% less than your right-handed counterparts.
Really?
While that fact washes over you, take a break and head to the water fountain, which again, wrong side. Think about letting some steam off after your hard day, maybe hit some golf balls, till the guy says, oh, well, we don't have those left-handed clubs. Beat it, loser. You'll search for entertainment, maybe go to a movie, but don't go to a horror film, because you scare easier than righties, and you're twice as likely to suffer PTSD.
Wow.
You'll call some friends, maybe they'll want to meet you for dinner, but no one wants to sit next to you, and they'll tell you to go bump your elbow somewhere else, chump. Finally, you'll go home, alone, of course, and you'll remember that's because you've been leaning in for kisses for the opposite way your entire life. In other words, being a lefty sucks, except under the sea. Lefties do have better underwater vision than righties, which is awesome. If your name is Aquaman, My advice, be a righty.
I didn't know, like, they're more likely to have accidents.
I didn't know that.
They get paid less.
PTSD,
PTSD.
alcoholism.
That's pretty interesting. Terry, you're left-handed.
Mostly left-handed. Yep,
Mostly?
mostly.
What do you do with your right hand?
I do a couple
no
other
comment.
things right-handed.
Hey, so tell me, does this resonate?
It's your typical day, right?
Yeah, that sounds like
yesterday.
Me, by the way. But I've the whole like today. Like, but in my military career, most of the guns that they design are for right-handed people because, you know, most people are right-handed. So, like, even when I shot my Beretta 92, I'd have to change my grip, and I adapted. I got as fast, if not faster, than, you know, other right-hand guys. So it's not, you do have to. And you always have dirty hands from writing lefty, but I bat righty.
After you shoot somebody,
I had no idea I had a shorter lifespan, though. That's good to know.
After you shoot somebody, do you let them know? And I'm left-handed.
As I do the mag change and I hit it, I go, by the way, I'm lefty and I still killed you.
You're ambidextrous, right, Tyrus?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Whatever. I'm
No,
weird.
it's not.
It's fine. I embrace weird. I wear it like a badge of honor.
Oh, yes. How is that some kind of superhero power? Oh, I'm left and right?
We're great. But here's the thing. The right society has been running things forever. So when you're a lefty, you learn their way, but you have an advantage because you're still left-handed dominant. So you can do everything that a right-handed person
go the other way.
can do.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing about being ambidextrous is that when I was in school, teachers thought it took too long to teach you to write with both hands. So I had to learn the right-handed way, even though I did left-handed. But when I played sports, I was always in a left-handed stance in football. I was always in the left-hand block in basketball. It gave me a huge advantage because defending your left when you're a righty is harder.
Yes.
And when you're strong with your left hand, it hurts. And watch a fight. Look at the guy who trains as a southpaw. He has a huge advantage.
All right, Lauren, you're right or left?
Right. And you know what? I didn't think this was a problem. I was laughing during the monologue until you said the world was made for right-handed people, and everyone started cheering in the crowd.
That's true.
I think we're surrounded by a bunch of right-handed supremacists here. It's a serious problem. But on a serious note, the social justice warriors always get it wrong. It's not the right-handed people that are privileged. It's the ambidextrous people who I think should cut off a hand for fairness' sake. And it's not white people. It's racially ambiguous people. You can be whatever you want for whatever occasion. Like, they keep getting it wrong. It's
I've tried that in a few situations. It didn't work.
All right, final thoughts next.
Yeah.
Stay right there. We got some good ones.
If you'll be in New York City and would like free tickets to be part of our studio audience, email gregtix@foxnews.com.
Don't forget, Fox News Channel's new primetime lineup starts Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's Tucker Carlson tonight. He has an exclusive interview with Caitlyn Jenner. Then, 9 p.m. Eastern, it's The Five! Yes! The Five! We're running out of time, so...
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Terry, want to plug your show?
Yeah, so I got a new series out. It's been running for a bit. It's called Hollywood Weapons. It's on Outdoor Channel at 9 p.m. every Monday night. I reenact all the crazy stuff you see on TV and film, and I get to act like an idiot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, just be sure and tape that show while you're watching The Five.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah.
Lauren, I heard an interesting fact about you because you left your driver's license at Fox when you did my podcast. Interesting fact about her driver's license.
I'm legally a man in Canada. Okay, now I don't just pass really well. I'm actually female, but in Canada, it took me an hour to switch my license to male. And I wore makeup, had my hair down, everything, and I told them that I identify as a man, and they said, "I'm so sorry, sir," and gave me an M on my license.
That is incredible.
Are there a lot of such men like you in Canada?
I have some friends I can
Is it easy to get into this country?
Terry's going, wow.
Why haven't I spent more time in Canada?
You can join the refugees sneaking in right now.
All right, we got to go, you guys. Thanks to Terry Schappert, Lauren Southern, Mr. Lauren Southern, Katherine